Hello and welcome to round 18 here at the Monster Energy MXGP of USA, and it's pit chat time. And joining me is Chris Alldredge. Chris, it's great to have you here at GP.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's my first time racing the GP, and yeah.
And it's different because you've got the different riders, you've got the different bikes. How different is it for you as a rider to be here compared to the Nationals?
You know, it's a lot different. You know, these guys are just as good as we are. You know, there's no difference between Europe and America. They're just as fast. Even though it's a different track for them and they don't ride as much as we do, it's still going to be great competition. And I've raced all these guys before, back a few years ago, and it'll be fun to race them again.
So when you say good competition, anyone in particular that you've got your eye on?
You know, obviously the guys leading the championships, of course, you know, like Max Dancy, Paul Jonas, and Tim Geiger, which I've actually raced all those guys before. So it'll be fun to race them again. And they're going to be a handful, just as they always were. And like I said, they're just as fast as we are, and it'll be good racing.
So being here at Glen Helen, do you have any tips of getting around that track? I mean, you've got heads up, haven't you, really?
Yeah, you know, we ride here every Thursday. This is kind of like a hometown track. I only live just right down the road, so I'm not going to give away my tips quite yet, but I'm pretty sure everyone will see them eventually. But it's a different track this week. You know, they designed it differently than what we have for practice, so I'll be learning it just as much as everybody else is.
And during the race, in terms of the conditions for us guys over here, what can we expect in terms of the heat? Is it going to be a tough one?
You know, it's kind of give or take. You know, it can be really hot. It can be 100 plus here pretty easily, especially with the heat index, as well as it's probably one of the roughest tracks we ride all year on our circuit. So it's going to be a rough track, and I think after 2 days of riding, it's going to be gnarly, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be great racing.
So how far do you live from here then?
I live about an hour south of here towards Mexico, and a lot of traffic in between here and there.
There seems to be a lot of traffic everywhere around Southern California. Is that right? Or is it just me that thinks that?
Yeah, there's tons of traffic. You're not the only one who thinks that. Even us who live here, we're still tired of the traffic. You don't get used to it.
Yeah, and I'm from London, and I think, why is there so much traffic?
I heard traffic's bad in London, too.
Well, when we had the British GP, everyone was complaining about the M25. Have you ever hit the M25 around London before?
I've never actually been to London, but I've seen YouTube videos that people post about the M25 and how sometimes it just doesn't move.
Yeah, like the traffic here is just as bad, if not worse, than in London. So we had a day off, a couple of days off, and we went to San Diego. Have you ever been to San Diego?
Yeah, actually, I don't live too far from San Diego. I love that place.
It was so much fun. We got Segways. Have you tried a Segway?
Yeah, a long time ago when they first came out. I haven't rented one, but they're hard to ride at first.
Yeah. It took me about an hour to be trained up on it. Do you have any tips on what else to do? Because we're going to be here for a couple of extra days after the GP. What do you recommend near your hometown?
I'd go to LA. It's nice to just see the city, and then obviously Hollywood Boulevard. You get to see all the old history, and then I'd head to the beach, Huntington Beach and those places. Super, super nice. Santa Monica Pier, and just look for like the backside coffee joint. There's some really good coffee places that make great paninis and such, and they have great food, yeah.
That's the thing, you need to go places where locals recommend rather than all the tourists sort of haunts.
Yeah, you know, In-N-Out Burger only gets so good, but there's that backyard place that sells way better burgers, and no one even knows about.
Do you know what I've actually done since being in America? I had a steak for breakfast.
Yeah, they do that here.
It's amazing. And there was chicken nuggets on the breakfast menu.
Yeah, we're odd, that's for sure. America's weird.
I'll just have some maple syrup on my chicken nugget.
You can do that. You can actually do that, yeah. McDonald's will sell anything.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible. So anyway, we're here. We've got the track still underway. What are you hoping for this weekend? How are you going to tackle this weekend with the different riders, different bikes? Are you going to plan anything differently to what you usually would?
No, plans are no different. The plan is to go out there and try as hard as I can. You know, like I said, these guys are the best riders in the world. I'm not going to treat it any differently. And there's even some guys from my circuit that are racing it too. So, like I said, everyone's going to be fast. We're going to go in it with the same mentality of just give it all we've got and hopefully end up on top.
What's your aim?
First, always.
Of course. I have to say, actually, when I knew I was going to interview you, I spoke to your PR accountant, Steve, and I said, do you have any dirt to dish on Chris? He had nothing.
Yeah, I try to stay pretty clean, especially on the social media side, and I stay away from it and just try to do my job. You know, these guys hire me to do my job, and I want to do my job for them as best I can, and that's obviously to win. So that's the goal we're going for, and try to keep all the drama to the side.
I'm going to get some juicy gossip before the weekend's out. I promise you. Chris, thank you very much, and best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you so much.
You can watch Chris and all the guys live on Sunday on MXGPTV.com. We'll see you then.